This is how it all began. I went to a socially conservative college in the strap of the Bible Belt, Vanderbilt University. In retrospect, the decision doesn't make much sense, but at the time I chose it. I was infatuated with films like Fried Green Tomatoes that placed their homoerotic heroines in states like Georgia. I thought I'd find my own Itchy Threadgood in the great state of Tennessee. I came out to my sorority sisters towards the end of my senior year. It caused quite a stir. I was a preppy blonde tridelt, getting straight A's, dating a cute frat guy, and I was co-founder of the popular Crossroads Bible Study. I assumed my friends would embrace my newly claimed identity, but it didn't quite go that way. My closest friends freaked out. They accused me of a litany of things, including being damned to hell, being possessed by the devil, being weak in my flesh, and choosing a path of perversion and damnation. I wasn't ready to let go of my friendships, but I didn't know how to respond to their accusations. They seemed to have an arsenal of Bible verses and theological arguments, which they hammered into me with stunning conviction. What they were saying did not make sense to me, but I didn't know where to turn for answers. I wasn't out to my family yet. I didn't know a single gay person, and I didn't feel comfortable in the gay community. And the Christian community on campus was convinced I was imbalanced or confused. For the first time in my life, I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. Overnight, I became a fish out of water. I had known I was gay since the time I was 7 years old, so changing wasn't an option. But my friends were so convincing with their arguments that it splintered my sense of self. So, I decided to learn the facts. I drove around Nashville and talked to preachers about what the Bible says about homosexuality, and one after the other told me that the Bible had been grossly misinterpreted on this issue. Over the course of 3 weeks, I learned more about theology, biblical language translation, and the ministry of Jesus than I had in 12 years of Sunday school. I took all the information I had gathered and sent it to my best friend in the form of a 6-page letter. I wasn't at all confident that the information would have the same transformative effect on her. She was my most ardent adversary, and I knew it's almost impossible to change someone's ideology around faith and family. But for the sake of my own dignity, I sent the letter, and 5 weeks later she responded. She was sorry, and wanted to begin working on our friendship again. I was floored. I couldn't believe it worked. I suddenly knew I needed to send a copy of the letter to every person in America. And so I did. In 2004, gay marriage defined the presidential election, if not determined it.
I'm not for gay marriage. I think marriage is a sacred institution between a man and a woman.
Marriage is between a man and a woman.
In 2008, politics took on a different tone. Hope seemed to replace fear, and all eyes were on substantive issues instead of social issues.
$10 billion a month.
Create millions of new jobs.
Worst financial crisis since the Great Depression.
Gay marriage was barely mentioned. A feeling of sheer relief and rejuvenation lifted every minority community, including the gay community.
If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, tonight is your answer.
But when America woke on the morning of November 5th, 2008, we learned that silence on an issue doesn't mean that it's resolved. On the same day that 53% of the American electorate voted for Barack Hussein Obama to represent the diversity in our country, Americans voted to ban gay marriage in Florida, California, and Arizona. and voted to ban gay adoption in Arkansas. Gay weddings in California would cease after years of great struggle and some progress